Hi, Trevor here, reflecting on life through music. Thank you for stopping by. Well, come in again today. You're very, very welcome. Whether you're here for the first time or whether you've come back for another one, it's great to see everybody here. I do trust you enjoyed my last video on country megastar Garth Brooks, and through a couple of his songs we looked at being absolutely in the moment and saying things when they need to be said. So trust you found that one encouraging. We're going from there to 1980 in Bruges in Belgium. Walter Andre Wally de Becker was born, but the family emigrated to Australia in 1982, first Sydney and then Melbourne. His mother nicknamed him his son Goyte, which is the French equivalent of his Dutch version of his name, and that was the name that he would adopt as his stage name in Australia, because this guy is a singer-songwriter, multi-instrumentalist, but there is something completely radically different about this guy, that he's an artist, a true artist, this guy, because he just is a way of putting a different take on these songs, and so it's going to be good to be able to explore him today. He developed a passion for music at a pretty young age, particularly piano and drums. And as he started to think about his songwriting, he cites that he was heavily influenced by the band Depeche Mode. So there's a bit of electronica going on in here as well. Goyte graduated with a Bachelor of Arts, and it was around the 2001 period that he released 4 songs. Well, not released, but he put 4 songs kind of on a demo tape. And he got 50 copies of this, and he sent this around to all the radio stations and followed them up with phone calls and did everything else you need to do. And eventually he got on a bit of a rotation with some of the alternative radio stations around Australia, including Triple J. And the reviews were pretty positive in that time. It was around that time he also met Chris Schroeder, and the two of them together actually formed a pretty long and enduring partnership, including starting a band, The Basics. Now, these guys are considered, with around about 2,500 gigs under their belt, one of the most live, hard-working acts in Melbourne. And actually, between 2003 and 2019, so, still going, 5 studio albums and 6 EPs. But going back to Goyte, one of those four songs was Out Here in the Cold, and this was officially released on the Boardface album of 2003. Now, when you watch this official clip, you'll see what I mean about the artistry of this guy. He really knows how to tell a story through his songs, but going into the nuances of feeling, the nuances of emotion, but at the same time, sometimes just confronting it full on, as is in this case. Out here in the cold, you've left me out in the cold. I don't like it out here. I actually need you tonight, but I don't think it's going to happen. So Out in the Cold, it's just a really compelling clip about how you can just feel really ostracized and alone, and being out here in the cold, there's nothing worse than that. So we've got the official clip on that one. Going back to The Basics, I've got a live version of Long As I Can See Light. So it's good to see the energy of these guys. Goyte's on drums here, doing lead vocals as you do at the same time, and you get to see that these guys are pretty amazing. In 2006, out came Like Drawing Blood. Now, this album was ranked #1 in a Triple J listener poll. And so a very significant album because it was resonating with the fans. Now, just let me tell you something about Triple J for a second. Triple J is a national broadcaster in Australia, and what they pride themselves on are the alternative artists that are emerging. They have the emerging artists, they have Unearthed, they have all sorts of things, and so they have been quite instrumental in bringing a lot of artists to light that wouldn't necessarily have got the airplay. And so Goyte was actually getting quite often on the rotation, Triple J's rotation. So Like Drawing Blood came out, very significant album for Goyte. We got the official clip, Heart's a Mess, Say No More. Again, this clip is pretty weird. There's some really interesting characters in here. I think what the clip's trying to do as it gradually pans out a little bit is the desperation and the isolation of a Heart's a Mess moment actually is. But we've got to keep going at the same time, don't we? We can't just sort of sit in the corner and say my heart's a mess. We've got to keep going. So you've got a balance of both of these things happening here. Now, Heart's a Mess was voted number 8 in the Triple J Hottest 100 around that time. So a pretty significant song of that one. 2011, out came Making Mirrors. Now, we're going to get onto the song that you got to talk about when you talk about Goyte in a minute. But before we get onto that one, we've got Eyes Wide Open. This Making Mirrors came out in 2011. Here we've got Eyes Wide Open, Walking the Plank. There's something about, if you are going into the unknown, going into the known with somebody else who's there, who's got your back and support you, is a pretty amazing thing. And so Eyes Wide Open is a pretty good clip about, yes, we can go into things as long as we know, as much as we can, where things are going. And so we've got a live version of that one. But the song you've got to talk about when you talk about Goyte is Somebody I Used to Know. Now, this song was so significant, it won Goyte a Grammy Award as Song of the Year. So this tells you, just goes to show that this song has not just resonated with Australia, but the world. And this was a collaboration with Kimbra. And here we got the official clip and the live clip. Now, when you watch the official clip, you think, oh, yeah, I know where this is going. You don't. Okay? I'm sorry to be blunt, I suppose. But you think it's an absolute breakup song. Somebody I used to know. Like, I don't know them anymore. I used to know them, but I don't know them now. Pretty confronting stuff that's going on there. But just watch what happens halfway through when Kimbra joins the scene, and she pleads something differently. And I think at the very end, you see Goyte just reflecting a little bit more on what has happened and wondering why and what and all the rest of it. Because I reckon if you've been in an intimate relationship with somebody and you do know them in many ways, you just can't pretend going forward that you didn't. There's no hard and fastness here about someone that gets into your life. You just can't pretend like they didn't. And if anything, they help you on your journey and your life experience anyway. So I'm not sure whether somebody I used to know is necessarily right. I mean, used to know, but no, I think it's the critical word here, and that is somebody I knew, someone I don't know so much now, but someone I still knew. And how we walk forward with these somebody we know people. Do we walk forward with kindness and a bit of reflectiveness, or do we walk forward with anger and bitterness? We don't want to walk forward with anger and bitterness. We really don't, because it's going to wear us down over time. 20 years down the track, we'll still be bitter, and that's not what we want. We need to take all the positives out of anything that happens our way, because we can't discount life experience. No matter how hard, I'll get my words out in a minute, no matter how hard we try. We just can't. So if you do go through something, we've got to learn. We really do, don't we? Otherwise, there's no point having these experiences. So let's learn to walk lightly with life experience, hey? You may be wanting to put it out of your head, but can you? I wonder whether we can do that. Is there something more about the stuff that we need to learn about those things? Often moving forward is about reconciling yourself with the stuff that's happened as opposed to being angry about it. No, being able to say sorry if you can, all that sort of stuff is really important, because we want to move forward in a way that's healthy and constructive. So I trust you'll find that one encouraging today. Goyte's had 3 studio albums as well as the 5 with the basics. He's won an AIR award. In fact, the first one of those. He's won a stack of ARIA awards. And he's also won 3 Grammy Awards, so to be acknowledged by the industry is pretty good. And he's had a few international awards as well, because this guy's actually found resonance with the world. So as you watch his clips, just to realise, first of all, he's writing these incredible songs. Secondly, his multi-instrumental ability that he's got. And thirdly, his incredible voice that just carries these really confronting lyrics that he can write at times. So the links to those 6 clips are in the description below, and I've included my last video on Garth Brooks, so if you want to cap on him, this was something completely different, feel free. Well, if you come back for another one, or this is your first time to Life Reflections Through Music, thank you to everyone for being here or coming back. It's great to see you all here. Well, that's it for today. Next time we're going to get on to legendary band The Grateful Dead. So until then, I'll catch you around. Bye for now.